Welcome to Type C Tech Reviews. Today we're going to be unboxing the KTC H27T22. At any point during the video you want to check out this exact same monitor, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links, but let's get this thing open. All right, this is a budget 27-inch 1440p high refresh rate gaming monitor, $300 price point. That's actually, well, really good. It says that it has FreeSync and G-Sync. I don't know if I believe that, but we'll see. Packaging looks pretty good. All right, and there we go. We have the power brick right here, not too big of a power brick. And then in this bag, we've got the other end of the power brick. And then we have a DisplayPort cable, that's nice. And then warranty card and some paperwork. So nothing fancy, but exactly what you need. Then we have the bottom half of the stand. This is what I'm really interested in, actually. Overall, definitely on the more budget side, but it doesn't look terrible. Looks like we're gonna have swivel there. It's not too light, there is still metal inside of there. Let's see the other half of the stand. Overall, it doesn't look bad. This is in gloss pink right there. I don't hate that at all. It's a clip-in stand. Obviously, all this plastic is kind of cheap plastic, but the design overall is not bad. It's nice and thin. I like it. All right, let's put this together. All you gotta do is slide that together. Nice high-quality thumb screw on the bottom. Screw it in. Yeah, pretty nice stand overall for the price point. Impressive. But the big thing that we care about is not the stand, but the panel. So let's get this clipped in. All we're gonna do is match up those top pins. Once those top pins are matched up, you just press it down. There we go, it's locked in. Okay, and then let's get it on the desk. How does it look? It looks pretty much like exactly what you would expect. A nice minimalistic stand. You have a small accent right here, but that's pretty much it, and that's okay, that's a good thing. This is a good, pretty average looking monitor. So if you don't want anything flashy, but you just want a great panel, well, we're gonna see if it's a great panel or not. But before we get everything plugged in, we have height adjustability, okay? We've got tilt, a good amount of tilt. We've got swivel, ooh, a very large amount of swivel. I really like that. The swivel does feel plasticky, but you still have it, and it does feel like it's gonna hold up over time. Then we've even got going completely vertical. Does it do both ways? Let's see. And it does both ways. All right, the stand overall is good. It doesn't feel the most premium and fluid, but it also feels like it's going to last, and there's not a whole lot of wiggle. So you can see here, if you look at these joints, a lot of times if it's really cheap, they'll have wiggle. So there's no wiggle there. Nothing's really wiggling, which is a really good thing. All right, now let's talk ports. We got our menu system controls over on the left side, but it's underneath, so that's better than being over on the right side in case you want to do a dual monitor setup. Under here, we've got a very interesting thing, 2 display ports. Typically when we have 1 display port and 1 HDMI, even on incredibly premium monitors, this is giving you 2 display ports. That's actually kind of cool. Then you have 1 HDMI, you have a USB, but that looks like it's only for service because there's no upstream port. We don't have a USB-C and we don't have a USB Type B. Then you have your power in and a headphone jack. Really interesting about having 2 display ports, but I'm all here for it. All right, let's get this thing on the desk, get it hooked up, see the initial impressions, gaming test, and then a ghosting test. Let's do it. All right, it's all hooked up and on the desk. I do want to say one thing, a big zonk right away is the power cable. As you can see under there, it does not have very much space at all. It's not very long. I typically have a cable management channel that is set up for each one of these monitors, so it's easy to swap them out. This one doesn't even fit in that, so it's short. However, if the panel's good, I don't think that matters as this price point is quite good. Let's see how this does. A small little touchdown here is that with the KTC logo, it's kind of beveled with a glossy finish, and then it kind of isn't right here. It looks nice. It's a nice touch. All right, let's turn it on with that joystick, which is actually very close. That is the joystick. I'm touching it right now with my finger. So it's actually a nice placement. All right, let's turn it on. We got a little LED right there, which doesn't look too bad, honestly. Big thing we're looking for here is brightness. How good is it gonna do? All right, right off the bat, it looks okay, but it's probably not on high brightness. Let's first make this, you can see 2560 by 1440p, so it's doing full resolution. Let's go in, bump the refresh rate up to a full about 165 Hertz. There we go, nice and fluid now. Now we're gonna go into the actual menu system itself. Actually, not a terrible looking menu system. This looks like it's carried over from, was this a Nosen's menu system? So you can see here, FreeSync / G-Sync. I believe that this is full G-Sync, not just G-Sync compatibility, but let's first go in here into brightness at 90%. Okay, so here we have our first thing. Probably not the highest brightness in the world. Let's turn it all the way up. Yeah, it doesn't get super bright, although possibly HDR gets brighter. It's not gonna have that overall massive brightness here. we'll just do a quick test to get us in the ballpark. All right, a quick inaccurate test as it just turned on. So we're getting about 300 nits, 310, 315 nits, something around that. But overall, you should think 300 nits. Not a terrible brightness, okay? We're not talking 250. This is still a good brightness, especially if you're in a dimly lit room. But that's probably the thing that you're going to not get most of all. But we'll see if there's some workaround to that. Let's go through this menu system. We have all of our color settings very easily well marked. We're gonna turn G-Sync, FreeSync on. There we go, now we got that on. We have our different overdrive settings. We're just gonna leave it an off for now. Game Plus, which is FPS counter, timer, crosshair, stuff like that. We got HDR and all of your other stuff. We do have RGB lighting on the back here, which we're gonna turn on. Doesn't look like it shines much. Can't even see it. Oh, it's very, very minimal. Turn this a little bit so you can see that. All right, so you're getting that. It's super not bright, but we haven't tested it in a dark room, so I'm not gonna make too much of a judgment on that yet. And the rest of the menu system is pretty much exactly what you'd expect. Pretty basic, however, who cares? Let's get in the game and see how this thing does. One thing I also will mention is when I was rotating this to go vertical, I did slightly, very gently, hit the stand with it, and as you can see, there's still a mark there. I tried to rub it off, but you can see that's where the kind of budget comes from. There's still a mark from very gently scraping the monitor. I don't know if it's coming up on video, but it's right here. Quite obvious to me. We're starting in Battlefield 5. We're gonna start with SDR, and then halfway through, we're gonna switch to HDR, kind of see how that performance does in game. All right, guys, hopping in game right away. First impressions, nice and contrasty. Obviously not like a VA panel, but for an IPS panel, which this is a fast IPS panel, it looks nice and pretty. Colors look good, nice and vibrant. I think we're getting 99% of the sRGB color space, which is not terrible, especially in SDR. That's great. In HDR, it might kind of suffer a little bit. Now, the one thing I'm going to be checking for right now is, how is that ghosting? It looks like it's pretty freaking fast. Maybe slight amounts of ghosting, but we do have the overdrive setting in off right now. As far as the input lag, just from a feeling standpoint, it feels very, very fast. Really, really enjoyable gaming experience. Gaming monitors are getting ridiculously good for the price. There's never been a better time to be a PC gamer. Or actually Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, this is 1440p, great for the Xbox Series S, which we will definitely be testing. We got an Xbox Series X and S over there, so we will be testing that in the full review. Subscribe below, coming in a few days. All right, yeah, pretty fast. Oh, I mean, it's very pretty. It's nice and vibrant. The colors look pretty good. 99% of the sRGB color space is nothing to scoff at. Let's switch this over to HDR and kind of see how it does. All right, now we're in HDR in Battlefield, but it's not in HDR in here. So we're gonna turn HDR on, auto detect, there we go. And there we go. So now we're in HDR. Okay, overall right away, I can see that they're doing a lot of sharpening to it. The bright with the dark doesn't do a very good job. This is definitely not a monitor that you're going to want to be doing HDR in. You can see, especially if we can get over here, if we get over here to this brighter section of the map here, you can see it completely blows this out. There's zero definition here. Many parts of the gun are completely blown out. A lot of the water is completely blown out. This HDR experience is not very good. That might be partly due to some of the settings. So we can see the sharpness here. It looks like it's over sharpened a lot. So we're gonna turn that to 0. I mean, does it look fuzzy now? You know, I'm not sure. I just wanna say this overall, HDR experience, not the best at all. However, it still feels like the input lag is definitely low enough to do, you know, all of your gaming on. So if you did want to switch it into HDR, you definitely can do that. Yeah, it's still definitely fast enough to get kills, but again, look at this. You're just getting this completely blown out, not in a pretty way at all. So that's kind of unfortunate. However, we're gonna switch this back into SDR. The SDR experience is very good. Colors look nice and vibrant. It's not super bright, so you're not gonna get the vibrancy from that brightness as much as you would if it was hitting about 400 nits around that. That would be very, very vibrant. But come on, for 300 bucks, this is ridiculously good. I mean, this looks really, really fast. It has nice low input lag. I can say that right away. Obviously, those aren't numbers up here, but just from a feeling aspect, it's very fast. Gaming monitors are getting ridiculously good. I mean, this is crazy. This is really good. All right, let's do a ghosting test. Again, really the only con that we're seeing here so far is the brightness. that's pretty much it. Now I will say, changing the sharpness was like not sharpening it, but doing the opposite. So we are gonna wanna leave that in 50 because it did look a little bit weird. All right, so right away, up on the screen, this is in off. There's very, very little ghosting, basically no ghosting. IPS panels are just getting ridiculously good, guys. All right, we'll go into the overdrive settings. It's in off, we're gonna go low. Yeah, that's almost none right there. Pixel overshooting, inverse ghosting. On high, I think it's gonna be the same story here. We're gonna go into high, and we got a lot of pixel overshooting and inverse ghosting. So low is absolutely the setting that you should keep it in 100% of the time. There's no pixel overshooting. I'm gonna take the camera so I can show you, and let's see if I can get a nice pan here. Really, really low. I mean, that speaks for itself. Unbelievably low ghosting. Yeah, you're hitting around 300 nits of brightness. HDR experience, not there. HDR color gamut, not there. We're only hitting about 99% of the sRGB color gamut, but in SDR, oh my God, low input lag, good vibrancy overall, fast game performance, low input lag. There's nothing to hate here. This is a great 1440p monitor. I'm gonna dive deeper in, see if there's any real big issues with this. But if you're looking for an HDR experience, this isn't it. If you're looking for a super high brightness, this isn't it. But as far as a 1440p panel, and I believe it's on a Cyber Monday sale right now, I mean, this is really good. This is just really good. Again, if you want to check it out, there are Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. This is gonna be a fun one to review. Probably not gonna take too long, but we will dive in depth, see if this thing has any groundbreaking issues. Although right now it's like, come on, it's an IPS panel. What's gonna be messed up there? You're not gonna get a great contrast ratio, but you're not also getting any of that ghosting. All right, this is KTC Tech Reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next video.